My name is Tyler Portner. This is my presentation on a shuttle mission that interested me. My mission that I chose was the Stardust mission. The Stardust and Stardust Next, which were all two separate missions using the same shuttle, was sent by NASA, and it was sent to get information from the comet Wild 2. This information included mainly dust samples and flyby images. This was a 300-kilogram robotic space probe, which was 6.5 feet long and 2.5 feet wide. Now, what's special about the Stardust mission? Well, it was the first of its kind. It was the first follow-up mission to a comet after it revisited the Tempel 1, which was visited originally by the Deep Impact in 2005. Now, the Stardust revisited Tempel 1 in 2011 after it was retasked by NASA when it was in range of Earth during its second mission, Stardust Next. It was also the first to measure the dust properties of two separate comets, the Wild 2 and Tempel 1, with the same instruments for accurate data comparison. Also, it set the aphelion record on April 18, 2002, at 253 million miles from the sun. So it was the furthest a shuttle had ever gotten from the sun at that point in 2002. The mission followed a very interesting path. It was launched on February 7th, 1999. After collecting two samples of interstellar dust, it flew past asteroid 5535 Anne Frank. This was November 2nd, 2002. After that, it flew halfway out to Jupiter to collect particle samples from the coma of a comet, Wild 2. The coma is not actually involving landing on a comet at all. It just takes the particles that burnt up from the comet's quick movement. Then the Stardust returned to drop off the sample capsule, which had everything that it had collected, on January 15, 2006, near Salt Lake City, Utah. NASA then retasked it, as I said earlier, to perform a bonus mission. And that mission was to fly past Comet Tempel 1 and collect images and other scientific data without the shuttle ever landing on Earth. 13 million miles after it saw Tempel 1, Stardust did one final fuel burn to use up its remaining fuel. This was orchestrated from Earth. This is a funny little picture I found that actually speaks to how iconic this mission was, in that it was able to keep going and still be successful even after having completed its first mission. It took on another mission from the sky. This shows the actual process of collecting the comet dust. You can see on the picture on the left, there's a tennis racket-like object with aerogel in it. Aerogel is the lightest solid known to man, and it was able to collect all of the particles as they flew back, as they flew past, and they even flew upwards of 6 kilometers per hour, which was let me tell you, they were traveling at 6 kilometers per second, 6 times the speed of a bullet when they passed through the aerogel filter. Now, in looking at what actually was collected, the scientists discovered glycine, which was a fundamental building block of life. Glycine is an amino acid used by living organisms to make proteins, and this was the first time that amino acid was found in a comet, which is important because instead of just being lifeless cold rocks, as scientists had thought, comets could be a hub for life. The continued results were that this was the first time detailed images of comets were shown. Instead of just being, as scientists said, a black round potato, these actually appeared to be mountains and caverns and craters, and actually very dynamic space objects. And on review, in looking at the what was collected in the aerogel, beyond just the glycine, they found chondrules and calcium aluminum inclusions. Chondrules are the dominant material in primitive meteorites, rounded droplets of rock. And then CAIs are the oldest material in the solar system and are composed of exotic materials that form at very high temperatures. And this final picture shows that this comet, or this mission, Stardust Next, was actually effectively completed on February 14th, 2011, Valentine's Day. So this was a graphic made up that showed that it had seen the comet, made contact with the comet on Valentine's Day 2011. So this mission was very interesting. I really enjoyed learning all about it. It was interesting to see that that the Stardust was developed, built, and operated all by the same manufacturing company, Lockheed Martin Astronautics in Denver, Colorado. Thought it was also interesting how this was not the first mission to a comet. The first mission to get information from a comet was actually a mission to Halley's Comet. But this mission was the most comprehensive in the information it received, and because of that, it is going to be one of the most iconic missions to this day.